Get it? When you're out here moving, make sure that you're doing you, You're only born to do one thing.
Hello, it's the Certified Chaos Podcast. It's your boy EJ Davro, aka Man of Hustle, aka Mr. You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
And it's Sir Lou Eels. Welcome to Certified Chaos, and we have a special guest with us.
Introduce yourself, man.
Okay. Oh, we get to introduce ourselves. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
What's up, good people? I'm Todd Anthony Maniago, actor, acting coach, and now guest on Certified Chaos Podcast, man. Thank you.
Welcome, man. Gratitude for you coming out today.
I've been healthy, which is a blessing considering,
Right.
2020. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
I thought 2016 was bad.
Right.
People don't even remember 2016, right? We were saying in 2016, man, everybody died.
Oh, yeah.
And then now
2016?
2020 just blew that out the water.
You're right, I forgot.
Yeah, a lot of people have, because 2020 has been so crazy. But
Every other week, somebody is.
yeah, in 2016 it was dumb.
It's just, you want to kind of think positive about it. But how has business been for you as far as just the anatomy of the scene?
Oh, dude. So I've been really blessed with anatomy of a scene just as an individual class.
Gotcha.
It kind of spun off. Now I have Anatomy Acting Academy.
Gotcha.
And we are out there doing different classes. I had a couple of workshops this year, a scene study class as well as Anatomy of a Scene.
Okay.
So it's been a blessing this year to just have the people still coming and wanting to learn and wanting to do classes in person, demanding that kind of like we want to do it, we want to do it. So it's been a blessing.
That's great. So what kind of made you get into acting? I never asked you this.
Okay, let's see. I've been around entertainment, so when I first came to Atlanta, a long time, came back to Atlanta, I was involved in the music industry. So I was a manager. I managed musical acts.
I did not know that.
Okay.
So there was a group called the Young Bloods. Sean Paul. I was Sean Paul's first manager.
Okay.
And I had some other people that I managed. There was a group called Jim Crow. Had my brother Cuddy Cartel, rest in peace. He died last year. Yeah, he was gonna be the East Coast Nate Dogg. That's what he took a long time ago. But I managed Cuddy. I managed Sean Paul, and I managed some other local artists. And so I was always around the arts industry. Obviously, there was no TV and film industry during that time in Atlanta.
Correct.
But fast forward a few years, a good buddy of mine was on tour with this play called I Can Do Bad All By Myself.
Gotcha.
And at the time, I had I was doing a master's degree, and I said, man, you know how you need an elective, you need
Right. You need a plug in.
I said, I'm gonna take this theater class because I had already done some theater.
Correct.
And I was like, well, let me take this theater class. Long story short, got bit by the bug at Georgia State. My mentor, Dr. Shirlene Holmes, introduced me to the theater in a big way, to the master African-American playwright, August Wilson, who wrote Fences and all of that. And I was hooked. So I started doing theater. Now this was in the early mid-90s.
Gotcha.
So I ended up doing theater for about 15 years straight.
Right.
And then around maybe around 12 or 13 years. Then around 2007, I started getting old. I was like, man, that theater is a grind. So
Right.
let me see what's up with this TV film thing. At the time, it had started bubbling. A buddy of mine was on tour with Tyler Perry doing a play called I Could Do Bad All By Myself. And I linked up with him. He wrote a play. I did it. We traveled around the South doing the play, and was introduced to Dwayne through a friend.
Gotcha.
And the rest is history. Things just started happening for me.
100%. So you just kind of felt it.
It's crazy. Like every time, when you see people when they go into their purpose, it's always something that leads them there. It's always something. So making the transition from, I know it's a difference, but was it difficult or was it easy to go from theater to action? Like, okay, to the TV screen.
Well, it's interesting you ask that because when you're making the transition, you don't know really how much of a transition you make. You just think it's all just acting.
Right, because you're in the paint. Right,
exactly. But what you learn is that once you have an opportunity to look back on it, theater acting and TV and film acting are totally different.
100%.
You're learning a whole new kind of muscle memory. I come from athlete background, so you're learning a whole different way of being.
Right.
So it is a challenge to do it because a lot of times people would say to me, "All right, Todd, I need you to bring it down. I need you to, I need you to bring it down because in theater everything is so big, and then when you go to TV and film, everything is subtle. So the camera is like right in your face. So it is a big transition." And I see it better now that I'm coaching and teaching actors who may be coming from theater, and I have to tell them, all right, bring it down.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you get that experience.
I think it's better, though, for an actor to actually do theater.
Yeah.
I think actors the new generation is running away from it. I don't have to do that, but you can always tell when they get around somebody that actually has theater training, and it doesn't really go over well. So I've seen sometimes on set where the kind of director be like, "Hey, man, just kind of bring it up a little bit."
Right.
I'd rather you tell me to say, "Hey, bring it down," as opposed to telling me to bring it up.
I don't, and it's so interesting you say that because, we would say that in class at Penn. You never want a director to have to ask you for more. You would rather them tell you, okay, I need you to bring it down a little bit, instead of them asking you for more. And theater is a foundation. If you come through the theater, you will have a foundation and education, and you will learn how to do it as opposed to just coming in trying to be a TV star, movie star. So.
Because what happens is they realize that you don't have depth and you don't really know who you are. And you start getting around people who actually do things.
You get exposed.
And it's like, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's kind of equivalent to a rapper not knowing how to actually write his rhymes down and rap.
Right.
So when he gets around people who can actually rap on a song, it's like, hey man, we can't use that song.
Right.
Can't use it.
You thought you was on 100, and that's the thing about the arts, especially, it's the microwave society and that whole thinking. It has applied itself to everything, and as you said, because talking with you all and just knowing E and from what you're speaking now is that everybody wants to be that star first, and it all comes from foundation. I never seen a house just go up on just raw land.
Come on,
no matter what, it's
foundation.
always built on some type of foundation.
I was on set one time and I seen them giving the guy tear ducts to cry. They paying him a lot of money. I was fascinated by it. You paying him and he doesn't know how to be with his. Okay.
Well, now I will say this. There are different reasons for that, right? Just having experienced all kinds of stuff, so I have allergies, and I don't know if anybody suffers from allergies.
Yeah.
What happens with allergies is it dries you out.
Gotcha.
So if you dealing with that and you got to shoot today, what happens is if today is the day they're gonna shoot your crying scene,
and
you ain't got nothing because now you obviously some acting techniques teach you to go to that place that makes you sad enough to cry, right? Yeah. Everybody, doesn't, learn those techniques and use those techniques. So sometimes people, because there's a physical technique that you can use to make you cry.
Okay.
Right.
I always wondered,
right?
Are they really doing that on demand? I know, of course, some people are just numb. I mean, you know, you get some people don't have no type of feeling to even take from, you know, something to do that. Yeah.
Because once you use it too many times, it doesn't affect you like
Of
that
course.
anymore. But like I said, there's a physical technique. Like if you just don't blink, if you hold your eyes open, they're gonna tear up. They're gonna tear up eventually.
They're gonna tear up. Right.
But if you're suffering from allergies, they may not.
Right.
You know, they just may start burning and hurting so bad you just can't do nothing. So the point is, you're right. But there are many different reasons for that, and how we get there as far as acting.
Because I remember you guys were on set, and you told me it was this one I can't never remember the actress, but you said she would cry on cue every time she was a robot, and I said I gotta work on that. She's like she would go talk to you, and then next thing you know, tears. Okay, can we one more time? Tears. One more time, tears. So
Uncle Man.
But that's a woman too.
Yeah.
You don't
Right. Yeah, of course.
No shade, but you know.
No, of course not. It's true.
Man,
Yeah.
And we're socialized different, right? As men,
We do.
We're socialized different. We're supposed to be tougher psychologically, all of that. Yeah, we might cry in the dark, but in a room full of people, it's like it just ain't gonna come.
No, right.
We're just
We're not
conditioned
gonna do
like that sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I mean, you're right. However, there are many different reasons why that might not be the case in this situation or this circumstance.
Because I feel that I never wanted to be the guy who was holding up production. I didn't want to be the reason.
Yeah, you don't want to be that dude.
Oh,
We wait.
All right, we'll come back. And so I've always said, might not seem like I do, but I work on the small things. It's like a basketball player. You picking this spot, okay, I'm weak on my left. Okay, let me work on this to fade away. So if I'm in the scene, I'm always focused on how can I make my fellow actor the best actor possible in that situation. Not just me.
Yeah. It's funny because, you know, when you're working in TV, there's a pecking order, right? So, you know, they have the call sheet. And in TV, just like in a movie, you know, number one on the call sheet is the star of the show, right?
Of course, right.
So you doing a scene with number one on the call sheet, you would think they got it all together, right?
Right. Because they're number one.
Well, sometimes number one be messing up more than everybody. and it's so funny, like when you get into it, you're thinking, ooh, I'm working with such and such and such.
Right.
And then when you get in the scene with them and they just be messing up. And you be on point. It'd be like,
You know,
they just human.
Yeah. And you know, I believe that everybody should see that. You know, not because you know some people, you know, that get very malicious with it and they actually want to see somebody mess up, you know, for the sake of, you know, them, you know, looking better. But you actually get to see some people are human because usually, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean they are humble people, but usually somebody that's number one, then they're gonna act like, okay, I make no mistakes, you know. But that does give you a comfortability, like, you know what, everybody's human, you know, everybody's human. You know, you get comfortable and it makes you better.
It does.
You know, it makes you better.
Now, I've worked with some A-listers that didn't mess up.
Right. Getting it done.
I've worked with some people who were the star of the show, but they weren't A-listers. They were just the star of this show.
Right.
But then I worked with Charles Dutton, who he murdered every time they said action.
He doing this thing.
What?
He's a great actor.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Like I caught myself like fanboying. I'm in the scene. I'm in the scene with him. I caught myself just.
Yeah. I got you.
Oh, let me snap out of there.
Right.
Get in character.
So let's talk about your first role. What was your first role that you got?
First role?
Your very first role.
Like
TV.
On TV?
Yeah.
Where somebody
Mainstream.
could all pick you up and look like, oh, that's Todd.
Yeah, that's Todd. Yeah. Well, you know, your friends like, man, we seen you. Oh, he done did a lot.
No. That's not what I mean.